You see all sorts of equations in algebra. We've seen quadratics and linear equations. We've seen polynomial equations and radical equations and so much more. But now we're going to look at what we call systems of equations. And what we're trying to do now is solve more than one equation at the same time. And in particular here, we're trying to solve systems of linear equations. So our equations that we're going to be looking at are all linear and they have two variables. Okay, so we're only going to be dealing with x's and y's. So what that means then is that when we're graphing a linear equation or a linear function, what does it look like? A line. So if we have more than one line, and in this case we're going to look at two lines, we have three different situations that can happen, and here they are. You could graph two lines in the plane like this, and at some point they collide with each other. And that point of collision is what we're looking for. That's our solution, where these two lines intersect. And we'll look at how to find that. Can you have two lines that don't intersect? Well, yeah, they could run in the plane as parallel, and if they're parallel, they're never going to intersect, so we have no point in common, we have no solution. And the third situation is kind of funny. You could have two equations that actually are the same line. So here we have both lines on top of each other. Now, these three situations have names. The first situation, the one that we want actually, is called a consistent system, and we will have one solution, namely that point of intersection. Okay, so we'll spend some time trying to figure out how to find that. If we have two parallel lines, we call that an inconsistent system, and in this case we have no solution. And the third situation does have a solution, so it is consistent, but we call this a dependent system. I'll put in parentheses though here that it is a consistent system as well. And what's interesting about this is, so in a consistent system we had one solution, and an inconsistent we have no solutions. In a dependent system we have infinite solutions. So I'm going to show you examples of all these situations and how to handle them. And there are two main ways we tackle these, two different methods, and we're going to look at both of those. So the first method is called the substitution method. So in the substitution method, our strategy is that we want to solve for one variable in terms of the other variable. And so for our first example here, we want to solve this system, 2x minus 4y equals negative 6. That's our first equation, and 3x minus y equals negative 4 is our second equation. Alright, so here, look, we have two linear equations, and we could graph both of these equations as lines. Okay, so how do we solve this? I'm going to, for notation purposes, assign these as equation 1 and equation 2 so I can reference them. Alright, now what I want to do here, from equation 2, I can actually solve for y, right? Because what I notice here is I have a y with a coefficient of, in this case, negative 1, and so I can easily solve that equation. I get, starting with 3x minus y equals negative 4, I could say that 3x plus 4 equals y, and I just added the 4 over and the y over on opposite sides, and so I have a substitution for what y is. So now, when I go back to equation 1, instead of writing y, I'll write my new expression that I have. So then, in equation 1, we have 2x minus 4y equals negative 6. And what I'm going to do now is replace the 4y, or the y, with that 3x plus 4, right? Because we just said that that is what y equals. So now I have, instead of y, I have 3x plus 4. And now notice that I only have one variable, and since I have only one variable, I can solve for my value of x. And I just use techniques that I already know. So I'm going to distribute the negative 4, get all my x's on one side and my constants on the other, and then I can solve for x and see that I get x equals negative 1 for my value of x. Now once I have one of the variables, I can easily figure out the other one just by plugging it in. So, and I can plug in negative 1 into any of my equations. In particular, I'm going to plug it into this one here. And so now I have that y equals 3 times negative 1 plus 4. Alright, so that's going to be negative 3 plus 4, y equals 1. So my solution then, where these two lines intersect, is at the point negative 1, 1. And there's my solution. And so notice that this is actually a consistent system. We had one solution, which means we have two lines in the plane, and they intersect at the point negative 1, 1. And let me show you that with the graph here. So I'm going to graph these two lines now to show you, and this is Desmos.com, by the way. You should open up an account for free, and it's a great graphing calculator to have available, and there's some really cool stuff you can do here. So there's my first line, 2x minus 4y equals negative 6. My second line here is 3x minus y equals negative 4. And so notice I do have an intersection here right at the point negative 1, 1. Pretty cool. All right, let's look at another. Now for example 2, we're going to use the substitution method again. We're going to solve negative 2 plus 6y equals 6 and x plus 3 equals 3y. And I'm going to label those again equations 1 and 2. And we are going to use the substitution method once more for good practice. All right, and so we can see then, maybe we should solve for x. So from equation 2, I can see here, can't you see it? Because I have x with a coefficient of 1, that we can get x equals 3y minus 3. So then, once I have that, right, I'm going to plug that into equation 1. We have then that negative 2x plus 6y equals 6. Well, actually, I'm going to replace that negative 2, I'm going to replace that x with the 3y minus 3 that we already solved x for, and now I can solve for y. Okay, so when this is just a linear equation, let's see, I distribute across the negative 2, and, well, let me see. When I solve here, I just get 0 equals 0. So what is going on there? What it means is that whatever I pick x and y to be, this system is true. In other words, these two lines intersect at all points. Okay, and if you look, if you notice, the first equation is just multiplying the second equation by negative 2. Okay, so these actually are the same line. What that means is that we have a dependent system and we have an infinite number of solutions. Now, how do you figure out what these solutions look like? It depends on what book you have, on the way they denote this. But one way you could do it is like this. You're saying that your solutions are all these points, x and y, that satisfy this line, x plus 3 equals 3y. Another way we could write the solutions for this is notice that since we solved x in terms of y, I could say that my points that are on this line have a y coordinate, and the x coordinate is found by this formula, 3 minus 3y. That is another way of saying that this is our solution. Okay, so depending on your book, some books just say, hey, you know what, it's dependent, let's just move on. Some books would want this in what we call set builder notation. And some books are fine with saying, look, it looks like this. The third situation, what you want to do, again, is that since I solved my x in terms of y, I'm going to let my coordinates be y, that's my choice, and x is dependent on that. X is going to be the 3y minus 3. And you know what? If you had gone a different direction, you would have had solutions like this, x and then x plus 3 over 3. And you might have to convince yourself that these are the same thing, but they are. So these are both valid solutions. So now we've looked at consistent and dependent situations, and we've looked at the method of substitution. Let me show you now the second method, which is elimination. With the elimination method, what we want to do is we want to add and subtract in order to eliminate one of our variables. Okay, so here's our situation. We're going to solve this time negative 2x plus 3y equals 13, and 4x plus 2y equals negative 18. And if you notice, it's not immediately clear that the substitution method would even work here. So we are going to go with the elimination method, and I'm going to label these 1 and 2. And so our process is a little bit different this time. We want to add and subtract these equations in order to eliminate a variable. And here's what I mean. At first, it seems kind of weird, but what we're going to do is we're going to say, how about 2 times equation 1 plus equation 2? What I'm saying here is I want to multiply my top equation by 2, and if you notice, if I multiply both sides of the equation, it's the same equation, right? So if I multiply both sides of the equation by 2 and then add it to equation 2, the result would be, well, let's think. First of all, let's think, what is 2 times equation 1? Negative 4x plus 6y equals 2 times 13, which is 26. Equation 2 is going to be 4x plus 2y equals negative 18. And notice when you add those together, which is what we're trying to do here, we are going to get, 0x. So we eliminated a variable, and that's what we want to do. Eliminate a variable, and we get 8y equals 26 minus 18, which is 8. And so we end up with y equals 1. So there's my y coordinate. Once I have y equals 1, I can plug it into 1 or 2 in order to get my x coordinate. Doesn't matter. So we'll just pick one. So let's say, so then how about we just go to equation 2 for no particular reason. We have 4x plus 2 times 1, right, because y is 1, equals negative 18. So that's 4x equals negative 16, and so x equals negative 4. All right, and so here we have a consistent system, and the solution is what? It's negative 4, 1, right? Your x and y coordinate. And since it's consistent, we know what this means is that we have these two lines in the plane, and they intersect at the point negative 4, 1. All right, let me show you one more. So this time we have, for example, 4, we're going to solve 4x minus 2y equals 3, and negative 2x plus y equals negative 7 by elimination. So I'm going to label these equations 1 and 2 like earlier. And now I got to think, is there a way I can kind of add and subtract these in order to eliminate one of my variables? And what I notice here is a negative 2y and a y. So what I'm going to say here, in order to get rid of the y's, how about I say 1 plus 2 times equation 2. And let's see what happens when that when we get that. All right, so that's going to be 4x minus 2y equals 3. And 2 times equation 2, that's going to be negative 4x plus 2y. I'm going to cancel out those y's, equals negative 14. All right, so when I add those together, because that's what I'm wanting to do here, let's see what happens. Well, that's interesting. My x's cancel out, so I get 0x and 0y equals, well, that is really weird. We get negative 11. So I have 0 plus 0 equals a negative 11. And cue the sad trombones. That can't happen. So what is going on here? We have no solution. No solution. What does that mean? We have an inconsistent system, and it means that these two lines are parallel. All right, so if you had solved y equals mx plus b, they'd have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So here, the end result is that it's no solution because we have an inconsistent system. Okay, this is a pretty quick run through systems of linear equations. It can take off from here if you add extra variables, more equations. Some interesting stuff can happen. In fact, there's a whole course for math majors dedicated to this called linear algebra, and I recommend you take it because it's very, very interesting. If you have any questions on this, I'd be glad to help you, and thank you for watching.